First time now, 10 minutes past 9.
Do you think he knows that the cog fell apart after he disappeared?
You think he cares? Chairman Prescott, welcome to what's left of the cog.
I'll have answers for you, ladies and gentlemen. But later. I need to see Colonel Hoffman immediately.
Gears of War 3 just released last night at stores all around the country. Apparently people queuing up all over the show to get a hold of this brand new game released on the Xbox 360. Gerard Campbell, though, got an early copy and has already played it. Gerard, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you very much.
Excellent.
Wow. Yeah, this has been long anticipated. Of course, we had a wee hands-on with it a few weeks ago, but since then you've been able to play the whole thing. Where do you start?
I think, for me personally, I think this is the best of the three, of the three Gears games that we've had. It ties up a lot of loose ends, of the story threads that have been developed through Gears 1 and 2. I think they've improved too. I think the original Gears was a great game, and then the second one, I think, they wanted that to be more badass and bigger and better. And I think maybe they tried to work too hard on Gears 2. So you had things like, I don't think this is spoiling, the giant worm and those sorts of things. And I just think maybe it was just a wee bit too over the top. But I think with Gears 3, they've sort of really grounded it back in the narrative, and the characters have really developed, which is really cool because, most people think, they're guys with big necks and they don't have characterizations. Well, they do.
Yeah.
And there's some really nice story thread coming through with this one, And, of course, there are female Gears in this one as well, which is, will no doubt appeal to the female gamers out there.
Well, yes, and I've seen a few comments from female gamers on Twitter saying that it was refreshing to not have the objectification and actually have some smart female characters in this game, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. What I mean, the female, you've got female characters like Anya Stroud, who was always a very strong character, but you're right, they're not objectified, they're not, low-cut tops, they're not dumb characters, they're actually quite strong, solid characters. So it's actually good to see, that perhaps the genre is maturing a wee bit, that that female characters don't have to be restricted to what some games do, they just objectify them. So no, it's really good. It's good to see that they've sort of dealt with the characters this way.
Yeah. Okay. Is the gameplay changed up at all, or is are we seeing that same great Gears of War 3 gameplay that we've seen in the first two?
The gameplay is still the same. It's still the same. The fact that you often take cover, clear out the locust from an area. This time we've got lambent locusts. You'll be familiar with those, which are locusts which have been infected by the emulsion which runs through the planet Sera.
Right.
But yeah, it's the same thing. You've got objective-based things to do. Stop this or destroy that or whatever. So the gameplay is going to be very familiar to Gears fans. But I think, as I said before, I think that the big thing for this is that the pacing's done really well.
Mm.
The story actually makes a lot more sense, and it's really strong. And there are some, I'm not afraid to admit it, that there was one moment during the game that was quite a poignant, touching moment that almost shed a tear, because of what happened. I didn't, of course.
I didn't.
A little bit salty, but no, I think that Epic's done themselves proud in the fact that they've actually stepped the narrative up a notch, and it's just not all dumb Gears, and it looks wonderful too. They must be really pushing the 360 to its limit now. With the visuals, with games like Gears of War 2. Gears of War 2 looked great, but there were a lot of muted browns and greys and those sorts of things because a lot of the game took place underground, and there's some nice colours and neons down there. But this time, the visuals just really pop out. There's some nice scenes near the end of the game where you've got really vivid, vibrant colours, blues and greens and reds. So yeah, it looks really stunning as well.
Okay,
it's really impressive.
And big epic action sequences, and times to just sit back and just sort of see some of the story unfold. Yeah, there is. There's set pieces. You've got I guess type boss battles that you're going to go against. And I thought maybe sometimes there might have been
maybe too many fetch quests. That you might get to a location. Oh, this is not going. You've got to go to another location and get this, and then bring it back to get it working.
Yeah.
So I thought there was a couple of those. Maybe one of them wasn't necessary, but overall, it's nice set pieces. There are, the characters that you know and love, and no, really enjoyed it. I haven't had a chance to look at this multiplayer much at the moment, so I'm going to sort of look it over this week. They've brought some new changes to the multiplayer. There's Horde 2.0, which sort of, I guess, adds a bit of a tower defense feel to it this time, where you can earn cash for enemies that you kill. Then you can sort of buy new fortifications. You start off a barbed wire, but eventually, you can buy laser turrets and those sorts of things. And then there's Beast mode, which is a cooperative mode where you can play as the Locust against the humans. So there's, I think. Oh, and another thing that they have is that there's an arcade mode, which means that once you've, I think, completed the campaign, you can replay through any chapter of the single player, and you can earn, points or that sort of thing. So there's a lot of stuff here for Gears fans, a lot of stuff.
Excellent. All right, Gears of War 3 is out now. On to something completely different. A fun new title out for the Xbox 360 Connect. Yes, it's called Gunstringer. And I had a wee play of this one last night. Oh my goodness, I've never played anything like it before. Just absolutely one total from left field. Really, really odd, but really, really, really fun. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's really good, because of course it comes from Twisted Pixel, who are the same crowd who brought us the Xbox Live Arcade game called The Moor and Explosion Man. So there's they've got a history of nice little humour, but the Gunstringer, essentially what you are is that you play a skeleton cowboy who's been, I think for better or worse, been left for dead by his crew, and he's a marionette, he's a puppet, and you use your left hand to move him around and left and right, and use your right hand as his gun. So you can paint targets, and then, as you all did as kids, probably, you pull back on your hand and that'll fire the shots. I guess in some respects it's sort of an on-rails game, in the sense that at certain points you will be automatically put behind cover.
Yeah.
Especially like the boss fights or some of those other sorts of things. So, and you can only shoot the enemies by moving left and right out of cover. But yeah, it came out of left field for me too, because I sort of saw videos of it and bits and pieces of it and didn't think much of it. And of course it's a Kinect game, so you think, perhaps it's not going to work so well.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I thought it controlled really well. If you want them to jump over something, you lift your left hand up and you'll jump over. And I think we were talking about this before. It takes maybe a few minutes to get sort of used to doing that. But it won't be long until you've got your index finger pointed out like a pistol and get stuck through. But it's got a nice humour, and it's got that huge big wavy tube man.
Yeah,
it's one of the bosses.
Waving,
inflatable wavy tube man. So yeah, it's a fun game, and it's a Connect, and it works, and I think it's fairly budget priced too. I think. I'm not sure what the price is.
Well, it comes bundled with Fruit Ninja as well.
Yes, it does. Yeah, Fruit Ninja Connect, which we've talked about before. So yeah, I think I certainly think it's probably I'd be lucky if you're paying more than $50 for it. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but it's a nice, But I think on that, so I don't think it's particularly long. I've heard people say it's probably about 4 or 5 hours long. But it's great fun.
A lot of fun. Probably for all kinds of ages, although the humour is probably definitely a little bit more adult, but definitely a whole lot of fun, and a whole bunch of confusion as well with waving arms. It can get quite funny as a spectator, no doubt, of someone else playing the game. Very cool. Well, there's a couple of great titles out on the Xbox for people to go and enjoy, and they can also see your full write-up about Gears of War 3 up at stuff.co.nz in the technology section, in the gaming section there. And look forward to chatting with you more about some further games next week, of course. Game Junkie NZ on Twitter. Thanks very much, Gerard.
Will do.
See you later.
Not a problem. See ya.